This is the No BS Coaching Advice Podcast, episode 94. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome. I like to spend some time regularly talking with you about life, the universe, and everything, and that kind of leads to the subject of this show. Life, the universe, dealing with things that are unexpected. So I would normally be on at least a once-a-week schedule with you. And then I developed pink eye. And it doesn't sound like a big thing, but, it knocked me for a loop. When push comes to shove, I had a virus in my system. It impacted everything I could do. I was isolated for a while. I got depressed. And then last week, I was prepping for, and the joke I normally tell is, I was studying for a colonoscopy. And for those of you who've had one before, you know what I'm talking about. You're not in a great mood. You're spending a day before eating nothing. Then from there, you progress to drinking some crap. That's the best way to call it, drinking some crap. And the procedure itself, and then the recovery from the procedure, and then getting caught up. Life has a way of showing us that our anticipated outcomes aren't always what they're cracked up to be, that we wind up having surprises, and that ultimately we have choices to make. And my choice was not to do a show because for the last 2 weeks, I've just been out of it. So I'll just simply say, when life kicks you in the butt, you can fight with it, or you can go with the flow. Make a choice. I was listening to a podcast interview today where this entrepreneur and his wife were talking with a couple of guests who are also entrepreneurs. And the conversation kind of flowed into a discussion of, if they knew what they knew now, would they have ever done what they wound up doing? Now, the host of this show, I don't know if he's a billionaire, but he's got beaucoup bucks. And he and his wife have struggled at different times, but, at this point, they're doing very well. The guests are earlier on in their career. Each of them, in their own way, talked about the struggles that go on in business and that they didn't know what they didn't know going into it. Whether you're job hunting, you're starting a business, or in some element of life, it's not that hard to ask for help, to at least get some guidance. Like, from a tech standpoint, do you have an accountant? From a legal standpoint, do you have a lawyer? Do you have a bookkeeper? Do you have someone who's going to support you in your business? I'm not talking about the brother-in-law who's opinionated. I'm just talking about, do you have advisors who can help guide you? Like, obviously, I do coaching, and I'd love to coach some of you. But what's more important is you figuring out that you've got blind spots, and you need people who are going to help you overcome some of the issues that you have. So this way, you're not caught unawares. Because one thing I know, surprises are rarely good. I was reviewing some notes from a class I took a couple of years ago. And one of the thoughts of the instructor was, if a challenge doesn't involve risk, if you don't have a risk of failure, is it worth taking? Great question, because so often we become mechanistic because we're doing the same things over and over again. There's no challenge to it. There's no risk. And the result winds up being, hey, it doesn't excite us. Now, I'm not talking about crazy stuff like, jumping out of an airplane. Not going to do that. I've got, a teen boy. I don't want to be the guy who the chute doesn't open for. And if you think that doesn't happen, a dear friend of mine on his first jump had to cut open his mane because it wouldn't open. So I'll just simply say, for those of us who want to try, who want to improve, who want to do something different, look for the challenge, look for the risk. And if it doesn't work out, what do you learn? when push comes to shove, the learning often is more important than the outcome. And don't get me wrong, I love a good outcome, but I also love the learning. So that's today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you listen to the show. Just subscribe so you get downloads whenever I release a new episode. Each show is going to be bite-sized morsels of advice just like today's. I hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope you subscribe. And if you do choose to subscribe, I hope you decide to support the show. There's a link that will take you to anchor.fm where you can make a pledge in support of the show. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in my coaching you, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Mention that you listen to the show. I just happen to like knowing that I'm helping some folks. And once we're connected, message me about your interest in coaching. We'll set up a free call. We'll get acquainted, see if it makes sense. I'll be back soon with more. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Take care. Time for